As seems to be the case many times, the Mariners have left me speechless. I have no idea where to even start or what to talk about with this game. What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back and welcome in to the Seattle Mariners post-game recap. The Mariners in 12 innings tonight defeat the Texas Rangers 7-6. They improved to 42 and 39 on the season. I believe this is the halfway point. What a way to finish off the first half of the season. I talk about, and as always, if you guys can like the video, comment your thoughts on the team and the game down below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you are new or lurking to the channel. Hopefully get over the 4,800 threshold tonight. That would be awesome if you guys can hit that sub button. I say this all the time with some of these games, but I kind of, as the game is going on, come up with a narrative that I'm going to talk about. I'm like, okay, this is kind of the way I want to go with it. Not that I'm like some writer that's writing his book or anything, but you start going over things in your head. Early on, it looked like the Mariners were going to pull out, a 5-1, 5-2 game that probably shouldn't have been that close, but Logan looked really good. The offense did enough and they'd pull it out. Then, honest to goodness, when the Rangers tied it, I was ready to call this the worst loss of the season. I really was, because you had so many opportunities to score 10 to 12 runs. Logan Gilbert needed to be better and finish that game off. And then you get into extra innings, and it turns out to be one of the more incredible wins of the season for the Mariners, with massive contributions. Two quick shout-outs. Miles Mastrobuoni, obviously, and there was more than him, but that base hit to win it and that catch he made off the Corey Seager fly ball in the 11th inning, just incredible. I like Miles Mastrobuoni. I think he's done a real nice job for this team. Huge kudos to him. And it might get forgotten a little bit with what Mastrobuoni did and just the way the game went. But Edward Bizzardo going 2 shutout innings in extras. So 2 back-to-back innings with runners on base at second base both times and getting through the order, including the heart of the Rangers order, locking down the win. And he's been used a lot. He absolutely deserves a day off tomorrow. What an outing from Bizzardo. A well-earned W for him. I mean, gosh, I don't know where to really begin, because, offensively, they put up 7 runs. They get 16 hits. I think they were hit by a pitch. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick. 5 walks. I mean, they have 22 base runners. That's almost 2 base runners every inning. And they scored 7 runs. Yet they still managed to somehow make that so frustrating. I can't even count the amount of guys that were left on base. And it's funny that the one run they do score was essentially with 2 outs in the top of the 12th. Mastrobuoni just pokes one into left field, and that's the winning run. Some good things offensively, but so many runners left on base. I'm not kidding. The Mariners probably could have scored 14, 15 runs tonight. Like, with, maybe that's a little stretching, but 12, 13, I don't think that's crazy. Now, some of that was just some hard hit balls that found gloves. Julio hit one 108 to center field that Evan Carter caught that had a 990 expected batting average. Cole Young smoked a line drive in the first inning that would have gotten a run in. Cal had a line drive that was caught. So, I mean, there was some stuff where, Dom had one that he hit pretty hard that was caught. So there was some stuff there, but there was also some really frustrating at-bats. Randy, I'll give him credit. Nice slide there in the 12th inning. He was really bad today. He got an RBI. I don't remember when that happened, to be perfectly honest. I think it was a ground out or something. Polanco left some guys on base, still drove in a couple runs and reached 3 times. So it's one of those games where, like, if I just read off the box score, you'd go, they had good games today. JP was 3 for 6. Julio was 3 for 5. Could have had another hit and reached base 4 times. Cal was on base 4 times. Polanco on base 3 times. Randy drives in a run. Luke with 2 hits. Ben Williamson has 2 hits. Mastrobuoni's 1 for 2. Cole Young has a hit. Solano's 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Like, you read that off and you go, they were great. But man, and I'm super happy about the win. Great win. Like, you needed it. Now you have 2 games left here against Texas. And again, if you can just find a way to split this, you get a huge series win. They're having a good road trip, right? They're now 5-3 on a road trip that I would have probably taken 5-5 before it started. And so it's such a weird feeling, because I'm really happy they won this game, but my mind was just, I mean, listen, if anybody wants to tell me I'm wrong in the comments, go for it. But like, we were all sitting there after the Rangers tied it, expecting to lose this game. Like, how's it going to happen? So my brain is still like wired in this like mindset of, they lost in a weird way. So, and I'll be honest, I don't know what to make of games like this offensively. I'm going to actually say they were good, right? I mean, it's 16 hits. That's good. They scored 7 runs. They've just got to get some of those runs in. Like when I talked about scoring 12 or 13, I mean, I wouldn't have taken many more hits, just, a couple sack flies and stuff like that. So they've just got to find a way to get some of those extra runs in. On the same vein was Logan Gilbert tonight, right? Like 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. The first 2 batters he faces strike out on 6 pitches. I'm thinking immaculate inning to start this off. But then it just unravels in that 6th inning. Semien gets the big double. Josh Smith leads off with a hit. That's fine. But then he hits Sam Haggerty with 2 strikes. So it's just, frustrating. He gets Corey Seager. That was huge. But then I said Semien with the double. Garcia's was kind of a off the plate bouncer up the middle. But so it's like, I don't think Logan Gilbert was bad by any means. He had 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, but he's got to finish that. The starting pitching has not been what we've needed it to be this year, and giving the offense some reprieve now after kind of ripping them a little bit. Like they did do enough. Like the 5 runs with Logan Gilbert against the Texas offense that has not been very good this year probably should have been game. That probably should have done it. I'm not saying Logan Gilbert needed to shut them out, but 2 runs there, then you feel good turning over to Vargas, Spire, Brash, Munoz, that you're going to win that baseball game 5-2, 5-3. So multiple things can be true at once. It's just the nature of it. The offense was good. 16 hits, 22 base runners, but they needed to find a way to get some extra runs in. Logan Gilbert, I don't think was bad by any means today, but he's also got to be better, right? I mean, that's how I would look at it. Now, one group that was fantastic today was the bullpen. Maybe Gabe Spire, the only one that wasn't. Carlos Vargas throws a shutout inning. Spire looked like he was going to be fine, but then with 2 outs gives up the hit to Josh Smith, and then, the base hit up the middle to Sam Haggerty. Spire probably the only one that wasn't great. And I will say it feels like Spire's been giving up more runs recently. I still think he's really good, but definitely hasn't felt his lights out. Casey Legumino was fantastic today. Low key, kind of one of the, unsung heroes again of this game. I said people might forget Bizarro. They probably won't, but you probably will forget what Legumino did today and then struck out the side there in the 9th inning, got it to extras, in the bottom of the 8th, and allowed you to have Brash and then Munoz for the 10th. Brash with another shutout inning with a couple strikeouts, 17 scoreless innings to start his season. Munoz was fine. He walked 2 guys. I don't remember that I think Seager intentionally and then walked, I think like Evan Carter or something like that. I hate that goes in as a blown save for Munoz. I mean, he's been a really heavy ground ball pitcher this year. Kind of stinks that both Semien and Garcia were able to lift balls to get that tying run in. So like he wasn't amazing, right? 2 walks, no strikeouts. It wasn't the best we've seen Andres Munoz this year, but it's so tough in extra innings, which is why Bizarro deserves the praise that he's rightfully going to get for what he did today. Cause that's a tough spot in a tie game and a 1-run lead to get out of extra innings there. Without giving up the run. And so I said why Bizarro was so good. I mean, it did walk 3-1 strikeout, but I think most of those walks were strategic. I think there was an intentional walk in there. And then like the walk in the 12th to Evan Carter, I was fine with to set up to have face Josh Young. Obviously a little nervous there because Carter would have been the winning run. So Young gaps one there and you're in trouble. But yeah, I thought the bullpen was, I look at the numbers and there was more walks than I thought, but they were fantastic today. Absolutely fantastic. And a big reason the Mariners, I mean, in 3 extra innings, they gave up 1 run. I mean, we talk about the Mariners' frustrations sometimes in extra innings. The Rangers, or if you're a Rangers fan, that was even more frustrating to only put up the 1 run there. Crazy. Combine these teams today, by the way, 7 for 43 with runners in scoring position. The Mariners had 23 at-bats with runners in scoring position. Were 4 for 23. The Rangers weren't any better. They were 3 for 20. I guess that's probably percentage-wise a little bit better. But, I mean, both teams just couldn't get that kind of big hit put up runs, but just kind of missed that one more, like I said, big hit there a little bit. I mean, again, I think the box score offensively slightly misleading. I mean, it's just, again, I don't know like how to feel about these games offensively. Like I said, I know I'm repeating myself there, but like the numbers are great, right? Like they scored, but man, I was just so frustrated. I was going to like rip the offense in this video before they pulled it out, and then only scoring one in extra innings, or I guess they got two technically, was frustrating. So kind of just a weird feel to it. But I mean, at the end of the day, they do put up a lot. Listen, I think this is the best takeaway and probably where I would say take the emotion out of the game away and you're just watching a baseball game. Let's say I'm a Marlins fan watching this. What would your take be on the Mariners offense day? I would sit there and say they pounded out 16 hits, 22 base runners, 7 runs is good. They got the runners on. 4 for 23. Even if this team is struggling with runners in scoring position, they will be better than that. I mean, imagine if they were 7 for 23 today. You'd have that 12, 13 runs on the board. So the key is you want to keep creating the situations they created. They've just got to get the big hit. They've just got to get that ball into the gap. So I'd rather have that and leave 1,000 base runners on than just go down 1, 2, 3 every inning and not have the base runners. So I think overall, it's disappointing. Like it's one of those things where in the middle of this season with this team being up and down feels very frustrating. But overall, it's probably a positive to have that many base runners and eventually keep putting them on. Like we say with pitchers, right? If you keep putting on base runners, you're going to pay the price. Same goes true with offense. Keep putting on the base runners. Eventually, the other team will pay the price. So JP was 3 for 6, 2 runs scored. I thought Julio had a real nice game, 3 for 5, and he was hit by a pitch. So Julio was on base 4 times and an RBI. He had a nice infield hit to start it out. And then he had a opposite field base hit later in the game and a ringing double to left field, which scored a run. So I thought Julio, real nice game today. More of those. Cal was 1 for 3 with 3 walks, double down the line that didn't get a run home, but was able to set up, another run scoring for the Mariners. The only frustrating at bat Cal had was that at bat, an extra innings against Luke Jackson when he struck out. But listen, here's the thing. Cal's going to get walked more, right? I wouldn't be shocked if the home runs start to go down a little bit because teams are going to be way more careful with him. Polanco, Randy, Luke, even Julio, if he's batting behind Cal, those guys have got to step up because they are going to put Cal on base. What you want to do is make teams pay for that. Punish a team for walking Cal Raleigh. They didn't really do that today. Found a way to get some runs in, but they didn't punish Texas for walking Cal Raleigh. You have to do that. Walks are good, right? I mean, Barry Bonds' 600 on-base percentage in 2004 was amazing, but the guys behind have got to deliver. You'll take the free base runner. Somebody else has to step up and bring them in, essentially. Polanco, kind of a weird day, 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, got the party started. He drove in the first run, grounded into, I think, 2 double plays. By the way, Mariners grounded into 5 double plays, the most that any team has grounded into in baseball all season. That's where a lot of the frustration is coming from, too. Like, just stuff like that with, how this game went. And I think Polanco hit into 2 of them, but he does reach base 3 times. He walks twice. He drives in a run, drove in another run where he just beat out what I think would have been maybe his 3rd double play. I don't know. So, you don't know what to make of games like that because that is a good productive day, but he still had some frustrating at-bats. Randy Arozarena is probably the only one that I would just say flat out stunk today. Did drive in a run. That must have been after the Cal double and scored a crucial run. Nice base running there by Randy to get under that tag, but he needed to be better. Randy was probably the guy who had the bases loaded that bat in the 11th. He had other opportunities in the first inning, grounded into a double play. He hit into 2 double plays today. He was the key one, right? Like we can go up and down, but Randy was the guy today that did not deliver the most. Luke Raley was 2 for 6. Canzone was 1 for 3, and one of his outs was stung. Dylan Moore, man, 0 for 3. Ugh. I'm honestly like getting close to. I hate saying release Dylan Moore because he's been a solid role player for you, but I mean at this point, I think Miles Mastrobuoni is the better player. Man, I don't know what you do with Dylan Moore. I mean, you need that kind of position. I don't think you have anybody just available to upgrade it. But man, if you can find someone at the deadline, like that can kind of fill that role, I don't know. I don't know what you do, but he is just, and it's been a while. I mean, I don't know the last time he hit a ball hard. I mean, or did anything productive. He still run the bases well and play some defense for you. So he's not completely without some value, but man, he's been frustrating. Ben Williamson, 2 for 4. Another guy like good day, but he had a crucial at bat. I think in the second inning where he struck out with a runner at third. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, hey, Ben Williamson, 2 for 4, a couple base hits, on base in half of his at bats. But the sequencing was frustrating. Master Boney came in, pinched hit for Williamson, was 1 for 2, drove in the winning run and made that ridiculously good play in the 11th inning. I thought for sure off the bat of Seager was going to drop in and win the game for them. And that would have been a very fitting ending. How about Cole Young, 1 for 3, missed his first major league home run by that much, and it was a single that didn't score a run. I mean, you want to play, it sums up the Mariners franchise. Like that ringing hit off the single, I guess, off the wall from Cole Young, and they had first and second, nobody out, nobody scored. They only got 1 run that inning. Oh my gosh. Oh, I think that was Julio who got that run in on a ground out there. Listen, I get kind of off the bat. I wasn't sure either if Garcia was going to get to that. So I'm not like mad at anybody there. And truthfully, like bases loaded, nobody out's a good thing. With 2 outs, maybe, obviously with 2 outs, he would have scored because you've been off at the crack of the bat. But, it's just they've got to take advantage of that opportunity. Like, is that the frustrating players that they only scored 1 run after that? But good to see from Cole Young. He is, I think I saw posted somewhere like last 3 weeks, he's got like a 115, 116 WRC plus. So he's been much better. And then Solano, 1 for 3. Not anything great. He grounded into a double play as well, but did get what at the time could have been the game-winning hit in the 10th inning. So even though that didn't win the game, like you probably lose the game in the 10th if Solano doesn't do that. So still finds a way to contribute there. Nice job by Solano. So very weird game. Very weird. You just looked at the box score, you'd say they did very well, but we all know there were some frustrating things. Okay. Huge win for the Mariners, right? That's just, it would have felt devastating had they lost that game. Blowing the game the way they potentially did with Logan Gilbert on the mound. If that was Emerson Hancock, maybe you go, okay. But with Logan on the mound, you felt like that was locked in. Then we would have been like, great, Logan blew it. And then, the offense just couldn't push another run across, all that stuff. And it would have been seriously frustrating. And then just that momentum is gone. Now you've lost 3 in a row after 2 tough ones in Minnesota. And it kind of starts unraveling a little bit. You get a big W, and now you're in position where you feel good with Brian Wu going tomorrow. Should have Munoz available, Vargas, Spire, Pizarro's probably down. Legumina didn't pitch in the Minnesota series, or I think he pitched game 1, so he should be good. Would have been nice. They probably should have made a roster move before this game. I don't know why Zach Pop is still here. I get that no one should be judged on just one outing. Could have used another bullpen arm today, and you might need another one tomorrow. So they may be forced to do something there. Also, obviously, Harry Ford was not called up. Garver's fine. Listen, I'm excited for Harry Ford. I was excited to see him. But, Garver's been good behind the plate. The bat's been a little bit better recently. I don't necessarily think Harry Ford, I'm not someone I think there's playing time for him. I absolutely think, he can play full time against lefties and he can make it work. But I'm willing to give Garver, a few more weeks, months here to see if maybe something turns around a little bit with the back, Solano style, essentially. Where was I going with that? Yeah, bullpen availability. And the Rangers should be in a very tough spot. Evaldi comes back from the IL, did he go 2 or 3? He went 3 innings today. By the way, Evaldi did not look sharp at all. I thought the Mariners hit him very hard in this game. Obviously, first start back from the injured list. So it's not something where you won, but now you have no bullpen arms. Should be okay. That 10-1 Twins game may have been a blessing in some ways because you didn't have to use a lot of your high leverage guys and they were rested. And the Rangers pretty much used everybody today. Luke Jackson went 2 innings. Chris Martin threw in this game. The Rangers were off yesterday, so that helps a little bit. But, with Evaldi only going 3. So even if, they might be okay too, they're not in, some amazing shape with their bullpen going into tomorrow. And I think Kumar Rocker, who's starting tomorrow, has struggled a bit for the Rangers. I know he was early on. I don't know if he turned it around a little bit recently. I think he went down to their AAA. So I just don't have it in front of me right now. And you feel good with Brian Wu going. You've got to feel good about that. So, Listen, baseball, right? There's no guarantees about anything, but now you're in good shape to possibly win this series. And then maybe if you can win it tomorrow, Sunday's kind of a little icing on the cake potentially. And then even if you do fall tomorrow, you're still in position Sunday, win a game, win a series. So we'll see what happens. Phew. Well, what a game. What a game. This team, again, just it's going to take years off of our lives, but that's what Seattle sports is truly, truly all about. Nice win for the Mariners. Made it more difficult than they needed to be, as only the Mariners can do. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, oh, by the way, channel members, I'll be live tomorrow. I will come on live for the game at 1 o'clock. So be there or be square. So like, comment, subscribe. And as always, go Mariners. Peace.